Hey guys, welcome back to Mac Farms. It's a Sunday special video. We actually finished up our second cut, which you'll be seeing here Tuesday, I guess in Tuesday's video. But I wanted to kind of interject a little bit here, I guess, and just do a little update video on the land clearing that we had going on back here, as well as we're going to do an update on the corn that we had planted. I know some guys have been wondering about that, so we're going to do that. So anyway, let's get started on the land clearing portion of it. As you can probably see behind me, we had our guy come in with the dozer and start pushing off some of the piles. Anyway, he's not done yet. He spent 1 day at it so far, but yeah, it's looking pretty good. I'll turn the camera on so you guys have a better look-see here. All right, so way up there on the hill where the dozer is at, that is the existing field, and the dirt field will be kind of over in that area. So you can see he spent 1 day here pushing stuff off, and he's pushed quite a bit over this way. There's still a lot of piles over on that side to do yet, and all down here is done too, and there's much pushed up over into there. So anyway, making pretty good progress. It's actually pretty nice ground here. I mean, I'm not sure what it's going to look like after it rains and all the dirt washes off the rocks, but for now it's looking pretty good. There is some rock like up here, you guys can obviously tell. He ran into some rocky areas here when he was rooting up the stumps and that with the excavator. And it kind of makes for an odd shaped field. You end up running into rocky sections, you end up running into swamp and stuff, so you know, you just kind of work around where you can. So anyway, pretty good progress for 1 day. So like I said, there's quite a bit left to do here yet. I mean, this is just 1 day. It's been another probably couple days, and we'll get it all cleared. And I'm not really sure what we're gonna do after that this year. I'm sure my uncle has some kind of a plan, but I don't know what it is, so if we're gonna plant something in it this fall or what. But yeah, it's coming along. After the last video that I did out here land clearing, I took my phone, actually. I took my phone around the perimeter where he's got cleared, and I measured it out to be about 6.1 acres that we've cleared so far this year. So that's a nice little chunk, and he's still clearing too. He's just on the other side of the dirt field now, so I can show you guys that here in a second. But anyway, let's go up and take a look at that dozer really quick here. All right, so I know most of you guys are equipment fanatics too, like myself, so I figured you just want to see the little dozer here. So the guy we have here doing the work for us is a big international fan. He always had international stuff through the years. Even I guess he had international trucks back in the day too, like pickup trucks. But anyway, this is a international. Actually, it's a dresser, I should say. I think most of you guys know that after International stopped making construction equipment, they sold it to Dresser, and then later it was Dresta. It's Dresta now, I think. But anyway, this is a dresser, TD15, same as International TD15. It's probably 1980s, I guess. Not really sure on that. Dad did say that when they cleared this field here, which I assume was in the 80s, they used this dozer, and it was brand new at that time. But yeah, I don't know. This dozer's done a lot of work here in the farm through the years, and yeah, it's a pretty good size machine. It's like a D6 cat size, I think. But anyway, she's got her few little issues and stuff. The glass broken in the cab and missing there too, but anyway. think Dad said he did have a root rake for it at one time, but he doesn't anymore. You don't really need the root rake for what we're doing anyway. Because everything's all rooted up anyway. So, not much else to see here, I guess. I was told it has a 466 engine in it. All the creature comforts. You probably can't see anyway. So yeah, that's the TD15. That's here pushing the brush off for us. So you can see up here it's a pretty good size area. And there's still all that left to do, and way down there left to do, and the excavator, you're not going to be able to see it. Maybe you can just see the orange way down there. Alright, so we're down here where he's clearing at now. So I started way up there by the dirt field, by that little green hut there, and working his way down this way. Not too far in, just down into that low spot there. Working his way down this way, and here's the machine here. This one, as you guys know, is actually our own. This is our Hitachi 160 with the root rake on it. So he's kind of working down in this area right now. Hasn't been the last couple days because we've been busy doing other stuff, but a bit of rock showing up here too, I guess. So heading kind of in this direction, not probably too far down there because I think it gets lower and lower, but up this way is not too bad. And I think eventually we'll run into one of the fields we have down the road. So I think it heads down towards the field we have down the road, not the one that we baled at in the last baling video there, but just one that's a little bit closer. So I'm not sure if the plan is to kind of intersect with that or what. It would definitely be nice to run into that field, that way we can come out here if you wanted to and get onto that field instead of going down the road, because anytime you can reduce your road travel, that's a good thing. Even though it will be kind of farther this way, because where we're at right now is about 1 kilometer back from the main farm area, so the main barn and stuff. So anyway, he did work on some stuff down there. You can kind of see the piles. Just like when this field was cleared, they piled up a bunch of rock and stuff kind of in a spot in the middle of the field, and not really sure why, but anyway, they just decided to get rid of that. So he dug up all the rocks and stuff and brush that had grown up over the years there, and I think we're gonna get the guy with the dozer to push it off for us, and then we'll be able to get a little bit more land, and it won't be such odd shape down there too. But anyway, that's the land clearing update. Let's head over to the corn and check that out. We got 3 fields of corn to look at. Alright, welcome to our first corn field. This is the first field we planted, and it's probably the best one of the 3. It's not terrible, but I don't think it's as good as last year. I'll be honest. It's not as high anyway, but I mean, I don't know. It doesn't really matter that much, I guess. I mean, it would be nice to have 10-foot tall corn, but the more important thing is going to be quality, feed quality for the corn, and yeah, I don't know. We'll see what the yield's like when we get it in the silo, I guess, because you can never tell until then. I mean, we had a good crop last year until Hurricane Dorian came through and did a number on it, but anyway, it's not too bad. Let's get in here and have a look at it a little bit closer. All right, so this field was planted first. I can't remember the date exactly. It was early June anyway, like June 5th maybe or something like that. And it's tasseled out, as you can see. It's pretty tall, like well, let's see. That's as high up as I can reach. You're not gonna be able to hardly see that anyway. That's as high up as I can reach on it. So I don't know, the top leaf is probably 7 feet maybe, I don't know. It's pretty good in here. Like I said, this is the best field. But yeah, it's not too bad. Not too bad. Ladybug there hanging out. But I don't know. I think we got lots of heat, but not enough rain is what it came down to. But this field here, we got a rain on it. We got a rain on this field just after it was planted, and that was why the other fields were planted a little bit later. But yeah, this is the best of the three, like I said. The crows did get at it some, as you can see there. Thank you, crows. But it's not near as bad as up here. The crows really got to it here. And you can see the plastic here too, it's degrading pretty good by this point. It's pretty well degraded. So yeah, the crows here did a number on it for us. And you can't tell because the corn's pretty good right there, but there's another spot exactly the same down in the field farther. It's just the center of the field was kind of eaten up by the crows. But the crows weren't as bad as they were last year, we didn't think. So anyway, like I said, it's all tasseled out. And I don't know, it's not terrible, this field. It's not terrible. We'll get a crop off it anyway. We're in a lot better shape this year as far as haylage goes too, so we should be in pretty good shape. So anyway, yeah, that's the first field we planted. We had rain right after it was planted, so we ended up planting the other two fields probably a week or so later, so they weren't quite as far along. But that's just the way she goes, you know. We borrowed the planter from the other farm, and of course, you know, they get theirs in first, and then we just kind of get it like seconds or whatever. So yeah, it'd be nicer if we had our own planter. That way we could just go at it when we're ready. But anyway, it is what it is. So I think I mentioned that before. But anyway, it's pretty good. It's not as high down here. Well, of course, I'm right at the end of the field too, but yeah, I don't know. It'll be all right. It'll be all right. I don't mind sacrificing a little bit of quantity if the quality is going to be there. And like I said, last year we had that hurricane rip through here, and it did a lot of damage to the corn too. So if we can just not have a hurricane tear through here, that'd be great. And hopefully the quality is pretty high. But anyway, let's move on to the next field here. We'll check that one out. That was the second field we planted, and then I got something going on in the third field we planted that I don't think I even showed on video or mentioned before or anything. It's a little different, so we'll check that out last. All right, we're here at field number 2, as you can see behind me. It goes up there and all the way down there. I always notice the fields look a lot bigger in the camera and the videos than they actually are. This cornfield is about 4 acres, I think. Like, it's not very big, but I don't know. It seems like in the videos things look bigger than they seem. But anyway, this field here, this grass field behind me, we just cut that off the other day for second cut, which, like I said, will be in the upcoming video here next week. But anyway, this field here, well, this field here will bring us to another lesson we learned about growing corn. So anyway, I'll turn the camera around and show you guys what's up here. All right, so I'm kind of on the edge of the field here rather than the end, so I gotta kind of weave in here. But this corn here isn't quite as tall as our other stuff, and there's lots of pollen around, but well, that one is pretty good, I guess. Let me turn this dial. That one's pretty good. But I mean, overall, it's not quite as tall as the other field, but Let me see if we walk around here a little bit, see what I can find. Yeah. I can't find it. I was in here the other day and I found a big patch, but whatever. But you can see there's quite a bit of weeds and stuff growing here in between the corn. Yeah, you can see it here. Let me just adjust that there. So yeah, you can see that pretty obviously, I think. So anyway, yeah, and this corn you can tell is shorter too. See? Right here, look at that. Boop. So this plant, that's probably only 7 feet or 6.5. Anyway, let me get out of here again here. All right, so as you can see, there's a lot of weed pressure in that field. There's a lot of weeds in it. So when we planted that field, there was, I wouldn't say there was a ton, but there was some weeds starting in it when we planted it, and we didn't spray it before we planted it with Roundup or anything like that. We just sprayed it with the what do you call it, pre-emerge atrazine based stuff. So that stuff didn't do anything for the weeds that were already established or growing or started or whatever, I guess, and they just kind of took off. So yeah, we never got the weeds under control, I guess, and it kind of, I guess it was stealing nitrogen from the corn. But yeah, this field's not quite as good as the other field. It was also planted about a week or a week and a half later too, so there's that. But yeah, it is what it is. It's all feed that'll go in the silo, and we'll take it as it is and learn our lesson, I guess. We could have sprayed it. It is Roundup Ready corn. It could have been sprayed before it got too high, but I don't know. I was fighting a losing battle on that one, trying to get them to do that. So anyway, it is what it is. So anyway, that's this field of corn. This is 4 acres. The other field is 4 acres, and the last field is about 4 acres again. So we got about 12 acres planted, I guess, maybe 12 and a half. So let's go check out that last field. All right, you can see behind me we're at the last field here. Now I'll let you in a little secret about this field, what makes it different than the other two. When we planted this one, we planted half of it with plastic and then we ran out. So half of this field was planted without plastic. And yeah, it's kind of interesting results. So this half here beside me was planted with plastic, so I'm going to turn the camera around and show you guys anyway. But here we go. Alright, so this is the other side of the field that was planted without plastic. There's not really a whole lot of difference. This side here was actually tasseling a little bit later than the other side, I noticed. I didn't have my camera with me, but I don't know, a week ago maybe, or something like that. Anyway, I was out here and I could stand down the middle, right where there's plastic on one side and no plastic on this side, and you could look down and everything on this side was tasseling, and on this side that wasn't quite there yet. So the plastic helped it mature a little bit faster, but not by a whole lot, like just a couple days. I think what's going on is we're planting it so late that the plastic isn't really making that much of a difference. So that's my suspicions on that. I think if we planted a little bit earlier, it would be worth it, but I don't know. We'll have to, when we go to chop it, we'll have to get this corn kind of tested separately and see if there's any difference between that and the stuff that grew right next to it under plastic. This field was corn last year too, and it's corn again. So this field will be going back into alfalfa. Well, it'll be peas and alfalfa next year, and these fields here I would say will be going back in corn again, and same with the other one. So this is the one, this is field number 2 way out there. That's the first field we were at way out there, and this is field 3 of corn. So anyway, I wanted to show you guys that, and the end row is a little bit ugly looking, but whatever. That's something else we learned too. Last year when we planted this field, this exact field, we didn't bother to put rows going across the field at the headlands. We just went up and down in rows, and it wasn't too bad because we still got this little road here where I'm walking on right now, but there just really wasn't enough room to turn the harvester and the wagon. So this year we did rows on either end on all the fields, where there would be no turning room or whatever, just to give ourselves a little bit extra space. So that was another thing we learned last year come harvest time. So it's all a learning experience, learning new things all the time about growing corn and harvesting corn and feeding corn and all kinds of stuff about corn. Alright, I'm not going to get off the bike to show you guys this one. I'm just going to quickly go over it, but I mentioned earlier in a video that I was going to do an update on the peas too, and I forgot. / we cut them the next day, so I didn't get a chance to do it, but this is the peas coming back. This will be done for second cut. Usually we don't get to do a second cut on the peas, but this year we planted them a little bit earlier and we were able to cut them a little bit earlier, so they're actually growing back pretty good, and we'll get a second cut on these later on in the year. But it's coming back half decent. There's still a lot of weed in it and dandelion and stuff, but I mentioned that before, how it should have been sprayed in the spring just for a cleanup, and it wasn't done, and we paid for that. Not to mention we cut the rate back on the peas. I think if we had did one or the other, it would have helped a lot, but we didn't do either one. So anyway, it is what it is, and we'll get 2 cuts off it, so it won't be so bad. I think this field's gonna be all right. This one was seeded a little bit heavier than the other field that we did. I kind of sabotaged the planter a little bit on them. I guess they wanted to seed it at 50 pounds the acre instead of 120, and then I compromised and set it up as 80 pounds the acre, and this one didn't work out too bad. But the other field that we did with peas was seeded at 50 pounds the acre, and that wasn't very pretty. So anyway, the other field had to be seeded again. I'm not sure about. Yeah, the other one's gonna be all right too, I think. All right, I figure it's probably nicest spot as any to close out the video. Yeah, so that's what we're up to now. I guess I told you guys already to get that video of second cut coming out here next week. I'm still working on editing it or whatever, but a few other things coming up, I guess. Nothing too crazy. Yeah, anyway, I always find something to put up on the video anyway. 2 videos a week, not doing too bad, I guess. This will be a Sunday bonus. I should probably save it for a weekday video, but whatever. So anyway guys, hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll catch you in the next one. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, ring the little bell, and leave a comment, I guess.